Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you could see it and you could purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. And today we are discussing the A Lange Sohne Langematik Perpetual. This is the reference 310.032, the rose gold version, launched in 2007, of the original Langematik Perpetual, which launched in 2001. Now the watch on my wrist is easy to accommodate, 38.5 millimeters in rose gold. It has a physical heft and substance to it, but it's not huge. In thickness, well, it's not thick. 10.4 millimeters thick with a domed case flank. It actually nestles down on the wrist once you've strapped it to size, and it wears as a much thinner watch. Across the wrist, 47.2 millimeters. So this one easy to accommodate on a smaller wrist. I can recommend it for wrist as small as 13.5 centimeters circumference with a space of 20 millimeters between the lugs. Let's take one last broad look at the watch on the wrist so you can see it in proportion. Once again, my wrist 16 centimeters circumference and oval in profile. The watch is comfortable and the watch is strapped with good equipment. As you can see, large rectangular scale alligator leather, semi-gloss finish. You have sheer sides showing layers of construction. The sheer sides bounded by monotone stitch in brown. There's calf skin on the underside, and you can see this is a Camille Fournet strap, which is intriguing because Camille Fournet makes the straps for most Richemont brands, including Jaeger-LeCoultre and Vacheron, for example. So a brand new Camille Fournet strap, handmade in Paris, with a Lange rose gold pin buckle, and it's a remarkable pin buckle, handsomely faceted on the outside with a lot of gold. It's a heavier buckle than most, but it also has an elevated bridge so that the strap sits inside the buckle rather than under it once it's strapped down on your wrist, and there's a little retaining bar inside, so if you're like me and you have a small wrist and you're going to strap this watch down to the smallest hole, or even make a few more at the time of purchase, that little bar prevents the strap from becoming pinned on the pin. And you know how tough it can be to remove a tightly strapped watch? Well, that retaining bar is there to alleviate the problem. The case band, all of high polish, tidy, nicely defined by the junction of the bezel and the mid case with the case back. The lugs are stepped out, and you can see there's a sharp crease between their flank and the case flank in Lange fashion, all of high polish. The lugs are tapered and shapely, rotated. You can see the A Lange Sohne branded crown, pusher correctors for the calendars, and then on the dial, I need to explain that you are looking at precious metal, not just the gold for the hands, the indices, the numerals, and the frame for the date, but the dial itself is galvanized silver over true sterling silver. So the dial is made out of sterling silver, and the moon phase is made of solid gold, and the deposit of the blue is then laid on over it. You can see that there are registers featuring a 24-hour scale and the day of the week over at 9 o'clock. That 24-hour scale gives you the danger zone. You can see it shaded in blue, during which you should not attempt to manually set the calendar. The watch features a coaxial display of seconds and a moon phase with an adjustment interval of 122 years. Note the zero reset seconds system. So when I hack the seconds, not only does it stop the seconds hand, but I'm going to pull it, watch this, watch the seconds hand, it jumps right back to zero to permit easier setting against a reference. There's a leap year phase indicator as well as the month over at 3 o'clock. The dial features a railroad track outboard for the minutes, and take note, this is a loomed dial, and there will be a loom shot at the end. The timepiece featuring Lange caliber L922.1, also known as the Sax-O-Mat. It is a beautifully executed movement, automatic winding with a 46-hour power reserve, adjusted in 5 positions like a chronometer. It beats away at 21,600 vibrations per hour, and it does feature that stop seconds and zero reset functionality that we just discussed. It pivots on a generous 43 joules, and if you take note, you can see that both the rotor and the mass at the edge of the rotor are hallmarked precious metal. The rotor, you can see, is 21 karat gold, and the mass is platinum, creating a fearsome winding efficiency for this 3/4 rotor. Saxon watch finishing traditions? Many. All water resistant down to 30 meters. You can see that there is black polish on the cover of the escape wheel as well as the swan's neck regulator. The case clamp screws also black polished. All other screws, except those atop the rotor, fire annealed and heated blue in a kiln. You can see that the bridges and plates are golden hued German silver alloy, which is actually an alloy of nickel beautiful copper and zinc, the copper giving it that golden hue. There is engine turning underneath the rotor as well as underneath the balance. There is mirrored anglage, and you can really see it glowing from certain angles on the edges of the bridges, and it is true rounded, optically smooth hand chamfer, not a machined bevel. Finally, the half bridge itself, and you can see to good effect, is freehand engraved, so no two are exactly alike. You are looking at some of the richest and most manpower intensive and time intensive finishing in the industry. It does not get much better than a Lange Sohne, and this is an emblematic Lange complication. You can see the Langematik Perpetual and make it yours on the watch box. And we're back with the Langematik Perpetual by night. Note the double index at 12 o'clock, as well as the loomed hands on the sub-registers.